Do your team feel safe? Safe about sharing alternative ideas, objective feedback, and even complaints about the environment, or even us as leaders and managers in the organization. If they do feel that safety, they feel they can share these ideas, then that's a massive advantage that you have in your marketplace. If they don't feel safe, it can be like walking down the road with one leg in a bucket of cement, or at worst, you could be sitting on a ticking time bomb. Here's what I mean. Hey there, Ian here, and it's a pleasure to be able to be with you. I hope this is catching you happy, healthy, and strong. I was listening to an interview recently with an industry expert, and that expert was asked, what are the major factors that has led to this industry being so safe? And I was expecting to hear about systems and protocols and procedures and sophisticated software, and no. He said the number one thing that has led to this culture of safety, or this industry being safe, is that people feel they can speak up about mistakes that they've made or they've observed, about processes that are not working, and about issues that are potentially dangerous. And they can share that information without fear of retribution, without fear of punishment. That's the number one factor that has kept the industry safe for many years. So what does that mean for us? If our team don't feel that they can share objective feedback, particularly that objective feedback that can appear negative, that is a problem. If we don't think that we can complain about procedures or processes or customers or suppliers or even managers and colleagues, if we don't feel that we can surface these issues, how many ideas for positive improvement are going missing, are getting lost, that could be major advantages for us in our products and services and the way we develop them and the value they create in the market? How many of those ideas don't come to the surface? How many of those ideas could have prevented the loss of a key team member? Staff turnover is a huge killer. It's like a silent killer for businesses. It doesn't appear on the balance sheet, there's no line for staff turnover, but it's an amazing drain on our cash flow. When we think of rehiring, retraining, and the morale hit that losing a key member of staff results in. So all these ideas can be massive positive influences on our progress in business. The snag is that many of us do not realize that we don't have a culture of psychological safety. We aren't fostering that ability of our team members to share this feedback. So what do we do? I think, and my recommendation is that we have to be intentional about creating this culture of psychological safety. We can't do it informally. Oh, by the way, if you have a problem, you can always come to me with your issues. It has to be intentional. People have to see it in action. So here is a quick way to start. Get the team together and say, right, give them a piece of paper and say, on this piece of paper, write down what you love about working here. On the other side of the piece of paper, write down your frustrations. What are the things that are frustrations, are things that you don't like about working here. And you can do it anonymously if you want to, but you can do this on a Friday night. Give people a piece of paper and say, right, over the weekend, I want you to really think about what's great and what drives you nuts. And we're going to get them together on a Monday morning. You can get the team to a team together and gather all this feedback and then say, right, what do we see? What are the issues? List them all. Even if you think, well, that's not really relevant, it needs to get on the wall. It needs to get on your list. Stick that list on the wall where everybody can see it. It says, right, these are the issues that we face. We're going to start with this one right here. And how you deal with that particular issue, of course, depends on what it is. But I would say that if you're ranking things, go for quick wins. And that fosters authenticity in the leadership. If people can see that you've taken everyone's feedback, you've made a list of what drives people nuts, or you've made a list of frustrations, and people can see you actually knocking these things off, it does wonders to build that level of trust in the leadership and create this psychological safety. That's a good first step. But then think of other mechanisms that you can be intentional about when it comes to creating that safety. Are you having a one-to-one informal chat with all of your team members? Cycle through the people in your team and have your line managers, if it's a big enough organization, have your line managers have a one-to-one informal chat with all of their direct supports. It isn't a review, it's not a performance review. You're not going to be taking, it's not a structured form, it's a chat to see if they are okay. And if they have a particular problem, of course, you can document it with their consent and do something about it. But it's a one-to-one informal check, and I suggest that that check takes place outside the office over a cup of coffee or a cup of tea somewhere, or it's a walk and talk if the environment permits, away from the office, so that you can have that informal time with someone just to make sure that they are okay. So there are two quick ideas, and if you want to do the one-to-one walk and talks that I highly recommend, then just make a list. Make a list of, okay, here's the schedule. This week it's going to be this person. Next week it'll be that person. Next week it's this person. Next week, and have a big list that just goes down so everybody gets the chance to have that conversation with their immediate superior. I really hope that did make sense. It can be devastating over the long term if people don't think they can share ideas, particularly sensitive feedback. But it can be a massive advantage to you if they feel that they can. I really hope that did make sense. Take care of each other, and I look forward to sharing with you again soon.